Hey there, do you like French cuisine and crime? Well, if you do, then I have a meal recommendation for you. Ortolan, a French delicacy revered for being the shining jewel of gastronomical decadence and condemned both legally and morally for its ingredients and preparation. The dish's main ingredient is a small songbird closely related to finches known as the ortolan bunting. The ortolan bunting is common in both Europe and Asia, but its popularity as an ingredient means the European populations are considerably more threatened. Now, rare local delicacies have always attracted curiosity from outsider foodies, and for good reason, because some are downright fascinating. Some of my favourites, not that I've tried either, are casu marzu from Sardinia, Italy, the cheese filled with live maggots, and Virgin Boy eggs from Dongyang, China. Chicken eggs, hard-boiled in the urine of peasant boys under the age of 10 and sold on the street as preventative medicine. Getting back on track, what is it that makes this dish so enticing? So much so that despite its criminal status, many gourmets consider it the ultimate indulgence. A meal so decadent, its consumption must be hidden from God himself. Well, let's go through the recipe. Despite its gourmet reputation, ortolan is actually a fairly simple dish. In fact, it only has 4 ingredients in total: Armagnac brandy, live ortolan bunting, fresh figs, and assorted grains. Per tradition, the serving size is a single roast bird per dinnered guest, so account for how many dinner guests you'll have over before collecting your ingredients. The first step in this dish's preparation is to fatten the wild songbird with fresh figs and mixed grains. Place the live birds into a cage containing plenty of these ingredients, then cover the cage with a thick black blanket. The perpetual darkness this causes will make the bird gorge itself on as much food as possible. Side note, while researching, I found a source saying that some chefs will choose instead to blind the live birds with a sharp implement to produce the same effect. This seems excessively cruel, not to mention really hard, though thankfully the blanket method seems to be much more common. Once the birds have at least doubled in size, it's time to move on to the next step of the preparation. The fattened songbirds are drowned in the Armagnac brandy. Once dead, the birds are left overnight in the brandy to marinate. Finally, it's time to roast the prepared ortolan. Start by drying and defeathering the birds while preheating it in the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Then, roast until the skin is browned and crisp. Now that we've prepared our dish, let's go over the traditional way to consume ortolan. I mentioned about 5 paragraphs ago that the consumption of this dish has to be hidden from the heavens. Well, that wasn't just poetic hyperbole. The first step in eating ortolan is to cover your face with a napkin. This serves 2 purposes. First, it hides one's face from the judgmental gaze of God, and secondly, it traps the aroma of the dish in, enhancing the flavour. Since obscured, you place the songbird feet first into your mouth and consume it in a single bite, bones and all, leaving only the beak uneaten. Given the rather macabre method of preparation, it's not surprising to many that ortolan is illegal. But it's not actually due to the factors you might think. The French Penal Code allows certain exceptions to the animal cruelty laws when it comes to preserving, and I quote, uninterrupted local tradition, which theoretically protects ortolan under the same exemption status as foie gras. Well, the EU's main animal cruelty regulation, Council Regulation 1099/2009, doesn't list drowning in brandy as an accepted method of slaughter. It's not through that law that ortolan is made illegal either. In fact, the outlawing of ortolan has nothing to do with moral or ethical objections to the dish, but is instead made on the grounds of environmental conservation. Yes, due to the popularity of the delicacy, the ortolan bunting is considered an endangered species, so laws were put in place to preserve their population. However, just naming something illegal doesn't stop people from doing it, and the laws were widely criticised for doing, in academic terms, fuck all. In fact, despite the dish being outlawed in 1999, by 2007 the population had continued to fall by a further 30%, with an estimated 50,000 ortolan being killed for consumption every year. However, an unlikely hero came to the struggling songbird's aid, the French League for the Protection of Birds, who pressured the government to better enforce the laws. Crumbling under the power of the FLPB, the French government promised to better protect the birds by creating a €6,000 fine for each ortolan killed. This, combined with extra EU protections added the same year, greatly helped the ortolan bunting's population recover, and they are now listed as least concern. So, there you have it, an explanation of ortolan, the mysterious, decadent dish of dubious moral and legal character. I hope you learned something in this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to eat your Virgin Boy eggs for good health, and I'll see you next time.